Okay guys, so it is currently 2:05 in the morning and I'm under the house because I can't sleep. And as you can see, I've got this, that, and that. Now, the reason for this video is I'm just kind of trying to find just something to do. I really want to work on a project, and I'm sorry if you guys can't hardly hear me. I'm right underneath like Mom's bedroom and bathroom, so I'm not going to be loud, but the point of this video is to kind of see what your guys' opinion, like what you would think about if you had to choose between me fixing this up, that, or this, which that I'll have to talk more about that here in a second. That is the most complete. I'm trying to remember. Oh, I know why I quit working on that. And it's actually pretty simple and stupid, but the reason why I quit working on that is if I flip that tire over, I hope there's a brake drum connected to it, and if there's not, then it's over there in the hoard somewhere. I just hope it's still connected. Yes. Alright. So, the reason why this right here is not worked on, or not on this machine, is that right there. That hole, I need to drill it out and tap it to that. Now, I don't know what this was off of. It might have been off of this thing at some point and had some sort of other form of holding this down. If you are not aware, this is a brake. Let me turn the light on. This is a brake, and it rotates, closes up like that, and it opens up some brake shoes and locks this wheel up. But if that right there is not held in place, then whenever you go to brake, this whole thing just spins. So I needed to have that hard mounted on this frame somewhere. So what I ended up doing, oh goodness, is finding a piece of tubing, and I welded it on and braced it in all kinds of places. And I'm going to take a bolt and run it through there and into that. That's it. It's all lined up. It all fits. It lines up perfectly. But I just don't have a bolt to fit that. But I now have some taps and dies, and I can drill that out. Once I get a drill, that's the thing. All I have is a massive torque drill, and I was afraid that it would catch and break this because this is, I'm about 99% sure that is an aluminum housing. Now, that can hold a lot of weight this way, like up and down. The torquing, it can hold a lot of weight. just not very fast. And I've only got it drilled out just a tiny bit before it'll fit the bolt that I had, which I just have to find another one. There's all kinds of them around here. Then I could mount up a brake, and I was thinking possibly, check that sucker out. How you doing, buddy? I don't know what you are, so you're gonna die. The issue at the time was powering it. Obviously, there used to be motor mounts in there, and there's not anymore. I had like a 196 or something. I think it's pretty much just a Honda clone. And I have a couple. One's got a really big, like 1-inch crankshaft end. So I'd have to either get a torque converter, which those are like $80. They're pretty expensive. Or find a smaller motor and run like a 3/4 inch or whatever, or whatever the diameter of like the 196s, or like maybe I can't fit a Predator 212 in there, I don't think, unless the curve is like, because those motors are tilted sideways, so the motor is like the piston is moving sideways instead of straight up like a flathead Briggs. So the one that I have, the Honda clone, it shoots the piston this way, but it drives that way. So I would either have to have some sort of weird also like bearing system if I were to turn the motor around to change the direction of the engine. But I just kind of want to find a smaller motor. Now I have one over, oh guys, I gotta be really quiet because people have to work. It's right here. Now this is a small motor. Get out of there. That's my hand, and that's the motor. It's about 1 foot and some change tall. Maybe only about 1 foot tall. But this here starter gets in the way. But I'm thinking I could mount it on this side, maybe, and get something going. And I've actually had this motor running before. It just, I really don't know why it wasn't on something. But I'll go ahead and bring it over here. And I think that motor would work. The fuel tank, it's probably around here somewhere. I'm not entirely sure. Let me set it in place. If it'll fit, try to squeegee it in there. It might even fit with that starter button because it's off to the side. I'll be right back. Alright, so it's in place. But looks like if I was going to make it fit, something up like that, I know exactly why I didn't use this motor now. No pull start. I've been trying to cobble together a pull start for this thing, and I can't find one. That is why this motor is not being used. That is not the original carburetor, but I don't think so. One of these motors is not the original carburetor, but it does work, and it actually works really well. this actually come off of an old snowblower. So where it was cold whenever you run these, it has a 120 starter, which is also why I might take it off. It has a gear on the back of the crank, or the back of the flywheel, that can run. There's the starter right there. It can run a starter. I'm just not sure if I have one that's got the right thread pitch and like the teeth, the gear pitch or whatever. But with that being a 120, you have to plug a power outlet into that and push this button and it'll start. So I could just get rid of all of that, put a 12 volt starter on that if I can find one, and run that. With that being out of the way, and if I could scoot the motor forward, I'd probably have to put an under-mounted, like weld it to the bottom instead of the top, but I could probably get away with something and run this motor. This is not a big motor. It's probably maybe 4.5, 5 horsepower. I really don't know. I don't know if there's any information around the motor. It says maybe right there, Sears. That might be with the starter. Let's see. You guys might be able, well, probably not because of the light. It just tells what oil, 5W30. I do not think it says what horsepower the motor is. It just says fuel, regular, unleaded. So that's a possibility right there. With this thing, and this might be a longer video. It's probably going to be a longer video because I'm trying to explain the whole shabab. This right here is an absolute dinky frame. Like, it's tiny, but hear me out. Remote, get rid of, don't put nothing right here for foot pegs. Put like straight bars on it. Make it to where your feet go back here somewhere. I've got some pretty aggressive tires that'll probably fit. Get rid of this and all of that. And measure what one of those little Predator, like a 96cc, or I think maybe whatever the one is that's like under the 212. Get rid of all this, chop all that out except for, you know, this frame piece. And just try to fit a small, but for this size frame, very large motor. Because this right here, that might be like 1/3 of a horsepower, if that. It's a little motor. Like there's a finger. It's a little motor. The reason I actually got this, I believe, for free at the junkyard, and that is a future plan. I'm going back to the junkyard here, hopefully in a week or so, maybe sooner, just to see what they have. Might find some old motors that we could take apart, rebuild, kind of try to get them running again. Just get rid of all of this crap that is not used. That's where you set the motor or the battery. It's a 24 volt system. But the reason why this thing hasn't been doing anything is with the handlebars missing. This is an electric, so it has to have like a potentiometer style throttle instead of like a throttle like that right there, twist throttle. It's got to have like it reads a signal and it gives more power. So I didn't even look up how much one of those cost, because I don't know if this motor is seized up or not. I really don't think it is. Actually, I just hold still for a second. This thing weighs like nothing at all. Oh, the motor, the chain is on the other side. Alright, well, let's do this then. This thing literally weighs like 15 pounds. I don't know how much. Alright, just kind of broke that thing off. So the motor does turn. And there's the on-off switch right there. It's supposed to be on, but this thing being it's a Motovox, I have no idea what it would be called other than, like, as far as power wise. Like I said, this thing, it's barely bigger than like a pop can. Just remove all of this and try to stick something in there. I actually could, and I was sort of thinking, now it would kind of lose the fast drag bike type vibe, but I actually do have a rebuilt weed eater motor right here that I rebuilt. I didn't put a spark plug in it, but it's just, that was actually kind of a bad idea on my part, but take that fuel tank off and remount it. But this would actually like fit perfectly in there. Probably with this gone it would. I'd say make a mount to mount it right here, and up here to like right in here somewhere, make a faceplate. But this is like a 23cc. It's tiny, so you would not have any speed really, or it would be a dog to get to speed. So I'm still thinking like a 196 or whatever, that 97cc or whatever that's underneath the 212. They're like, sometimes you can get them on sale for, oh, there's a lot of dust in front of the camera. You can usually pick them up for pretty low price, under $100. I'm pretty sure they're under $100, just like brand, like full price. But that's an option. I'd have to find out the dimensions of those smaller Predator motors. Then there's this. Now, this right here is probably the absolute least plausible, but still something. Get this little dude out of the way. Still something that I really want to do. I've actually had this for quite a few years. Obviously it's a Schwinn Stingray frame. That right there is the bottom wheel. But I have this tube welded onto it. And I'm sort of thinking about just like cutting it right there. It's chopped up, welded anyway, and just replacing that whole entire bottom tube and re-welding something to here to go across. It's a little sturdier, and making a drift trike. And yeah, I started on this whenever drift trikes were like the big thing. But I have a very large SMAW welder instead of like a small MIG. I have a MIG over there, right there, but it's old, and whenever you plug it in, it kind of wants to like auto feed sometimes. So I'm not 100% sure what's wrong with that. I looked it up, and some people were like, it needs a new computer. Some people were saying it needs a new Stinger wire. I want to test that thing and see with the multimeter and see if it's the cable or if there's something more in there that would kind of want to make it auto feed. It seems to me like it will just be like a stuck wire in the stinger trigger, but I don't know. The cables are a little expensive just to kind of try it out and see if that's what the problem is. But as you can see, this thing has had kind of a lot of rust in its day. Some of it's rust, some of it's cobbled welds that I had to break loose because I at first had the original Stingray frame, and I was just going to put a motor on the bike frame. But then the problem came of putting a sprocket onto that wheel, so that idea kind of got dumped in the trash. But it's like a stretched out type frame. I put this on here so the brake can be operated from the front wheel. If the back wheel, I can't find a brake for it, the front is more or less what you want to slow you down, because drift trikes are not meant to be fast necessarily. They're just meant to kind of get you going, maybe 10-15 miles an hour, and then you tank the wheel, kind of hit the brake, and spin it back in, drifting. But my welder, it just does not handle this really thin, very thin metal. It just does not like it. It likes to like pop right through it. And I mean, I would say it can be done, but I'm just not capable of doing it. I took welding in Votech, but that was just I took 1 year and went to automotive. But like a MIG welder, which my buddy has, so this might get loaded up into his truck and get took to their house where they have a little 110 MIG welder that I could just fix all of this up with. But I'm just still not sure. I wanted to I have some real thick metal like down around my property. I wanted to kind of like weld a big rectangular frame, but then axles and all of that stuff. I want to do kind of like Musty one on here. He just kind of takes things that like locked up motors and stuff like that and gets it running for free, or as little to free as possible. But with like building something instead of like repairing something, I would need pillow block. I think it's pillow block bearings to put into the back of the rectangular frame, a sprocket, a motor, which I could find motors more than likely. I could even put like a lawnmower motor with a transaxle. Possibility. With like the PVC wheels, like where they take a big old piece of PVC, flatten the wheel, slide it over, and then fill it up. That's like the best way to get a low horsepower motor to like spin wheels and stuff. So that's a possibility. I've got 3 or 4 lawnmower motors with like the vertical shaft motor, so that might be something that we could do, and just put like a big gear reduction or whatever, like make it just to where the tires spin really fast. Put like a clutch lever on it that disengages or engages a belt. I don't know, we'll have to see. Or just put a chain sprocket onto the transaxle and put like a centrifugal clutch on the motor, bolt it up, and just go like that, that would be something that probably could be done. But there's just a lot of light, thin metal on this thing that I would have to reinforce. I'd have to reinforce down there around, which again, that would not be impossible. This right here is my biggest concern, is get going and hit a bump and that goes down, digs into dirt, and that bar right there meets your bar, and then you re-examine your life. So I also don't know if it was standard or not. I don't even know where this thing come from. I think it might have come off of the mini bike behind me, but that just looks, if I could find like a LED housing or like a LED light, it's probably around here somewhere, the outside sheathing or like the cover. But I know this video is 26 minutes long. I've done everything I can to explain and talk the whole entire time, so you guys are not like completely bored of it. But if you had to pick between the three, drift trike, which like I said, this is going to be the least possible at the time, the little drag mini bike idea, I would try to put like a wheelie bar and everything on it if I could find one of those 97cc motors or something along those lines. The motor, I actually have another frame for like a doodlebug or whatever out there. I have a 2-seater go-kart frame that I want to stretch and put kind of a bigger motor on, do a live axle kit on it. It's a 2-seater with the left hand steering, but I want to move everything to the middle, live axle it, and kind of beef it up a little bit, put like a bench seat in it, something that kind of hugs a little more rather than just those little box seats like you just kind of sit on and slide around. I have a lawnmower seat type cage outside that would probably work. It holds you up to about the lower third of your back. That might be an option. I actually have a bunch of lawnmower seats if I can't figure out anything, but I would like to save one of the lawnmower seats for this thing, possibly, if I do end up being able to do something with this. My main goal, like what I would assume would be the easiest and best one to do, would be, stand up here, this one. Like I said, it's actually got a motor that could work. All I need to do is drill that out and tap it. It's got a sprocket. I don't know what size. Oh, that's a little one. That's a little shaft. I just gotta find a pull start for that. And I know there's like a lot of people saying, oh, we'll just use the rope start, but I don't want to have to grind down that little lip right there. That right there. I just don't want to. I would not mind drilling into that, but I don't want to like take it apart or grind it piece down. The pull start, I think, yes, it's right here, but the internals are gone, and I've tried to find pieces to make it work, but I just can't. That's actually a 4-stroke motor right there on a lawnmower or a weed eater. It looks like That's a 30cc 4-stroke, which again, it would work for that little bitty frame, but as far as like actually having a nice torquey fast motor to use for like maybe just a goofy drag race setup or something along those lines, maybe not. Like a baby hill climb machine. I've got some gnarly aggressive wheels outside to come off an old 4-wheeler. This was the 97cc. You can't see that, but it says kinda me 97cc Baja. If I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, I'm not 100% sure where that Baja motor's at. There's pieces for one right there. That motor is liable to be tucked in this corner somewhere. It was just gutless. It was on the little Doodlebug outside. The 4-wheeler motor right here. This is not mine, so I'm not gonna decide whether I use that or not, because I'm not. So that's kind of out of the question. We were actually trying to get this thing fixed, but it's actually probably looking like it's going to need a lot more than we thought. So that's on the back burner. I really want to know where that little Baja motor went. There's more motor pieces. It might be, get off of me. It might be over in this area somewhere. Is that it right there? No, that's another weed eater motor. But I want to go to a scrapyard and try to find some small motors, because I've got a lot of small framed vehicles. There's a generator underneath all that stuff. I really wish I knew where that freaking motor was. I've got, which this again isn't mine. That's probably the crankshaft for that little 96, which ain't a good sign. Or maybe it's for, I bet it's for that one over there, which I'll show you here in a second. Again, sorry this video is half an hour long. If you want to watch this long, great, thank you, welcome. If you don't, just scroll on. What's that? I bet you this is my Tecumseh motor that has the plastic camshaft that shattered. Shh, quiet. What is your deal? It's actually weird. It's got, oh no, that's probably just for, no? Maybe this is the little, it can't be. The fact that this top piece is off and there's no, like, lifters, or probably no valves or valve tappets, or, well, there's probably valves in it. Yep, there's valves. I still think this is the, is it free? It is. What motor is this? I would be able to find out easily, which, the fact that those bolts right there are not in, but just a couple of them, I would about bet that this is the Tecumseh. Let's scoot stuff over a little bit. Sit it down. the rest of this thing is probably not very far away. It pretty much come to here, and I took it apart, and actually I go up to this here parts piece. Is this? No. But this might work. Might have to look into that. I don't know. The one that's shattered or stripped, it stripped off these teeth. It should be around here. This is an old lawnmower engine, but it's got a crank that we could use if we need to. I've got so many parts around here and I'm not even sure. Wait a minute. Come with me. Get away from me, spider webs. I believe that too. I'm not sure what that is. Something tells me that's a... Ooh, there's a flywheel in there. Anything else in there motor related? I believe that goes... Can you shut up? I believe that goes to this. Somehow or another, I think it does. This... Get out here, spider. This is the little bitty head. Yeah. So that goes to that. Excuse me. Put this down. That, I would assume. 1 second. Gotta go back over here. Alright, I'm back. This... Dang it. Hold on. Alright. This right here. But I'm pretty sure that all of that slop is probably why this is in pieces. I don't know why I'm moving all this stuff. This is just like a mock-up. Does nobody remember what I said about being quiet? Okay. Just work with me. Please. Alright, I'm gonna sit you, hold you like that. Maybe. Anyway. With this in here, it actually doesn't move around too much. I have the see, what made me kind of assume that this was to this motor is, see how that's really long like that? It's kind of tapered, and there's threads right here. The flywheel, and we even want to get lucky and have the flywheel like right here. Guys, it's like I even know what I'm doing. Oh, and there's even valves, and which that's not for this motor. Go home. I believe most of that motor pieces, at least, are in here. is a oil flanger, it looks to me like, if I was a betting man. I actually have the piston for this thing too in the house. It's just kind of in my stash of, like, hey, I collected that. The key's pushed way out. Go ahead and get that situated back where it needs to be. Okie dokie. Oh, and there goes the key. Don't worry, I found it. There you are. So we'll line this up and hopefully push Mr. Key back home. There we go. Nope, hold on. Alright, so we broke a roll or two. I kind of pounded that on there a little more. Oh, my battery's low. Can't use flashlight anymore. This might be another reason why I don't use this motor. I don't even know if this thing even ran. I'm not even sure what this thing come off of, if I'm going to be 100% honest. But there is always an opportunity, just like Musty has, is just a horde of stuff. That flywheel to make it work. Now you cannot see because it is dark, but the pull start actually works really well. But it's like that roller bearing style where it rotates one way freely but the other way it doesn't. So like whenever you crank it, you pull start it, it turns, but then whenever it's like free spooling, whenever it's running, it just free spools. There's also that motor, but that's like a 300cc two-stroke, and it's not really mine yet. So, but I would kind of want to dig around in here some more, but it did to battery. My battery just took a slight crap on me. So, sorry for this long video, but I just I have a lot that I could do. Maybe fix this up, put the piston and stuff back in it, try to figure out why it failed, why I didn't fix it. Maybe figure out something with this, put a new carburetor on it, something. Maybe that carburetor might even be around here somewhere. I would assume it is. I just ain't gonna go digging tonight because, like I said, it's now almost 3 a.m. so I can't really go digging around. Oh great, now I've got to walk around in the dark because I use my flashlight on my phone to get over here. Great. Might as well just go to the phone dies, I guess. That's about it, I think, for motors. But like I said, me and my buddy are going to take off some scrap metal for another friend. Actually, another friend's dad, but his dad's a friend. So this one right here came off of an old Sears tractor. This is an Onan, I think 16 horse. The guts for it's tucked away in there somewhere, I think. Got some pulleys, stuff. I've got all kinds of stuff, but this right here, this has to be that Tecumseh. The cam was green, so I was kind of looking around for the green camshaft so I could show you what happened. I do not know if I even have it. I think I have it around here somewhere. It's just where, I don't know. But I want to clean this area up again. There's all kinds of, like, in here. There's head bolts and all kinds of stuff, like. But is that it? No, that's a governor. I don't know what that come out of. Don't know. Anyway, there's a, that looks like some form of like a, yep, I do believe that's what that is, of some sort. Do you guys see it anywhere? I don't know. It's bound to be around here somewhere. But it is a green camshaft. It looks a lot like this. It was bigger than this, I think. But I will try. I know that a motor over there, I see my battery's at 13%. That over there has a points and condenser, but something that I did not know, and I just wasn't necessarily, like I hadn't really investigated it or anything, but Isaac from Cars and Cameras said that if you take a coil off of just a regular motor, that you can find a similar sized flywheel, which these are pretty similar sized, but the coil's gone on this one too. I think actually I know where the coil that went from this, or maybe that coil, I don't know. Anyway, an old lawnmower that does not work. I put a coil on to try to see if I could get the mower running. It's a push mower. But I wouldn't mind getting this one running again. This was on the big fat tired mini bike that I about died on like 7 times. I'm about 99% sure that the internals are in here. The only thing that's like not in here is that broken cam. If I could get a new cam for it, this could be a runner again. It was actually a very strong engine, but it had that notorious issue where a Tecumseh has a bad problem. Whenever it hits a bump, it wants to stall. So this would have to go on something that's on the road. Maybe the drift trike, I don't know. But as of right now, it is not on anything. The pull start might be the one that's sitting over there. I guess it doesn't hurt to find out. Just try to piece. No, that goes to the Baja. Maybe no, because that's got the dipstick on it, so that's going to be for a vertical motor. I'll have to dig around in all of this stuff. This is just like old parts to the Ford. One of Dad's buddies totaled his or replaced a bunch of stuff or something, and gave him some spare pieces and parts. So yeah, I really don't know. I'll have to run around and try to piece more stuff together. But that one is mine. That one is up for debate because it come off of a snowblower that wasn't really gift to me. personally, but I probably can just make it work. That one is not mine. I would like to have it, but it doesn't run. I think it needs like the coil pack up there for spark, because I'm pretty sure that's the only thing that this has had an issue with is spark. But it takes like the old coils like this. So but this is where the Points condenser is, and I think this might be, yeah, that hooks up to here. Oh, and this thing gives the signal for these to fire. That goes, I'm pretty sure, to like a hot wire. Yeah, that would supply the power to the coil. That tells the coil when to supply the power to the plugs. That is basically it. This thing needs a few things, not a whole lot. I'm thinking honestly that's our only problem is the coil. So I might try to get this thing running again. The starter works. Last time I worked on it, it's down here. It's a kegger. It works. I love the sound of these old opposed twins. They just sound like tractors because, well, they kind of freaking are. This is mine. There might be something down in there. I just can't see because it's dark. But I'm going to go ahead. This video is almost an hour long, which I can watch a Musty video and they're sometimes an hour and a half, 2 hours. Well, not quite an hour and a, or 2 hours, but over an hour. Not sure what that's out of. If I could find more motors, I would kind of bring them out and show you. Oh, there's a... That's what that looks like. Maybe a carburetor, maybe. Try not to be too loud. I do not know what... Oh, wait a minute. Come here. Whatever's down there, don't bite me, please. This right here... What would this go to? I think this is that old 5 horsepower. I have the motor that this could go on out in the yard. Actually, that is another one that I need to bring in. Let me turn you off and go bring it in. Alrighty, so here she is. This one is also mine. This is my most recent one that I got. And this thing right here probably has water in it. Is it stuck again? Nope. Alright, that's all fine and dandy, probably way too loud. But this is the issue. This thing is like it opens, but I don't. You can see that little. Can you focus on that? How about now? Focus. Well, you can't see it or not, but a big... There we go. Holy crap. See how that is spinning, but this little bitty cap is not? There's a big issue with these motors. Is That little doohickey right there stops up, seizes up, tighter than a tick sound in. But this one, let me see if I can do that again. Bow. This whole unit spins, and it's got a spring return that works at least 40% of the time, which that's all you need. And that is a direct replacement. But I'm actually really glad I found this. The only issue is, I'm not sure what that is. Probably not totally important. I don't know. There's probably one on here. But the tube that runs into the tank and picks up the fuel, I'm going to go on a limb and say that right there is some form of a baby pulse pump. That draws up fuel, but I don't know if you can see too well, but that right there is just absolutely been a humongous pain in my hind end. Now, I can probably get, actually no, it might not have even been that one. It might have been that one right there. Either way. Well, we're at 5% now. Better hurry up. That comes out. That one. And then the tank would drop down with that one out too. But I've got like 3 or 4 bolts to take out. And then this would drop, or the tank would drop away. And then I could get a wrench underneath there for that on the other side. If I could put this on there after I clean this out well, I think this would be a very functional motor. It is a 5 horsepower MTD yard machines. I can't quite tell the codes on it yet, but maybe you guys can see that. This is just slam hammered. I don't think that it might work. Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah, it works. So the only thing that doesn't work on this is the most important thing, which is the throttle. And probably it's just gummed up all 2 pieces. There was like sawdust looking nastiness in here. But 3%, I will have to let you guys go. Which of these do you want to see of those 3? Plus there's a mini bike frame out in the yard. It could probably get this motor. This is the best one to run. Besides that one over there that I need to find a pull start for. Or rebuild the one that I have. But 2%. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, let me know. Am I anything like Musty yet? Because I'm working my way there. I know he's got like hundreds of motors, but I'm working on it. I'm coming for you, Musty. Alright, later.